A new report from the Tax Foundation finds that tax competitiveness in the U.S. remains steady among the world's top economies ahead of big changes for 2023. For more on the report is Daniel Bunn. He's Executive Vice President at the Tax Foundation. Daniel, good to talk to you today. Walk me through, for those who aren't as familiar with this report that you put out every year, how you sort of determine what is competitive and where the U.S. ranks right now in relation to its peers.
Well, thank you for having me. This report is designed to help policymakers see where their tax system is strong on things like pro-growth measures or policies that avoid distortions and complexities. It measures the tax systems of the 38 OECD countries, and the U.S. ranks 22nd on the index this year, as you mentioned, the same place as it held last year. The index puts France at the bottom and Estonia at the top. Estonia's had that place every year that we've published the index, and this is its 9th year.
And so let's make that comparison between a place like Estonia and the U.S. Where does the U.S. really get hurt? And to your point, or to the point that we made in this introduction coming to you, how is this likely to shift as a result of the provisions that have been included in the Inflation Reduction Act?
So the Inflation Reduction Act introduced a tax on stock buybacks. It introduced a alternative minimum tax based on financial statement income, and introduced a different way of calculating a lot of different tax credits. And a lot of these things just add complexity to the system. And if things stay as they are in current law, including some provisions that are expiring based on the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act from 2017, the rank will likely be slipping for the U.S. next year, unless other OECD countries make themselves even worse than the U.S.
Yeah, how big of a decline are we talking about?
Right now, based on what other countries are looking at, it's a shift in two places. So I would say a shift from 22nd to 24th.
We've also been following very closely what's been playing out over in the UK. You could call it the big reversal. Obviously, the tax cut policies that were initially proposed by UK Prime Minister Liz Truss now in full reversal as a result of her former finance minister getting cut. You've got Jeremy Hunt now in place as well. I wonder how you look at this in the context of how competitive the UK can be. Number one, the policies that are now being proposed by the new finance minister, but also just how quickly things have been reversed, sort of the policy swings that we have seen in a very short amount of time.
One of the things that really matters for tax policy is stability. And what we've seen in the UK is the opposite of that over the last several years. And what we've seen in the last few weeks is enough U-turns that we're kind of spinning in circles. I think what this means for UK competitiveness, where the UK ranks right now, is 26th on the index. And it looks like unless policies are to improve, and it's not really clear where the government's going to go over the long term here, then that rank will be slipping as well, potentially into the 30s on the index. A lot of the policies that they introduced recently, they might have improved the rank somewhat, but I think the pro-growth measures that the government kind of could have done were left on the table.
Tax Foundation Executive Vice President Daniel Bunn, good to talk to you today.
Thank you.